Mi bon Clyde. Hello everybody. In this video, I'll be showing you a step-by-step and my thought process while creating this character. I will also be giving out tips for those of you who are beginning artists and may have questions or maybe just want to see what another artist's art process looks like. So right here, I will start doing my sketch. I usually like drawing what the character will look like. I'm not really big on doing my sketches with circles and stuff like that or figures. But if you're a beginning artist, that's totally fine. I know it helps a lot of people out when it comes to character posing. But in this case, I felt like I didn't have to because I had a pretty straightforward pose. It's just me standing up and I already had a reference, so it's not like I had to come up with one. It's funny that that shows up in the background. Me and my girlfriend were talking and she said to draw like Blue's Clues, how the main character used to draw on the little notepad. So here it looks like I already have moved on to the face. So I figured out my proportions where everything goes, and then I started drawing the other face, an up close face. Now what you see me doing in the background, how I'm just placing the eyes wherever I want to place them. If you're a beginning artist, I don't recommend you to do that because that's usually not anatomically correct. If you want to learn how to, the human body works, do your guidelines and follow the guidelines, and I feel like that will help you out a lot more than freestyling. Me personally, my whole life I drew stuff by just looking at an object far away and trying to copy it from just looking at it. So here it looks like I already moved on to doing my line art. I do most of my line art on my drawings with the dry ink brush. It's a brush that already comes with Procreate. I just changed up the size and I just love that pencil feeling that it gives the drawing and that texture that it has. Something I love doing with my line art, this drawing I don't do a lot, but it's playing with the line weight. I feel like if you're a beginning artist, that's gonna help you out a lot. Usually what I do is when an object is closer to the camera or closer to you, usually I do thicker lines to represent how big it is. And the further that it is, I usually do smaller lines or thinner lines, showing how distant an object is from you. So it looks like right here I start doing my color picking for my, my base. I changed that color scheme because it was a little bit too pink. And then I just started filling in with flat color to cover the white areas. I do like doing a lot of color picking. So a lot of these colors actually come from the original picture. It just helps me a lot and makes the process a lot quicker. So I kind of did like this over the top lighting. So that's why the upper part of my face is brighter and then like the bottom left is a little darker. Yeah. And fun fact, the reason I do that triangle lighting right under like the eyes, I learned that from Attack on Titans. So I started going over some of my lines right about here and I started fixing those up to give them more weight and stuff. Started working on my lighting on the shirt. This shirt kind of has like this. Okay, sorry for the pause, but I had to Google how to pronounce that. I guess it's just waterproof or impermeable. In Spanish is impermeable. Pelotudo. So this is one of the parts that I was more excited about drawing when I was making this. The shorts. I've never drawn like a jean texture before, so I wanted to recreate that like dark, dirty looking jean texture. And I think I did all right, but I was going a lot back and forth. And then I did like this multiply layer on top and it worked out in my favor, so W's. And another tip for beginners, another thing I love doing is going back to the line art, making a clip layer on top and referencing the color and just choosing a darker version of it, like a shade of it, and drawing over the line art. And I think it gives it like this natural look. I don't know how to explain it, but do it and you'll see what I mean. Let's go. So this is actually my favorite part in the video. I started screen recording on Procreate with the feature that shows your Apple Pencil placement. So this is what that is right here. I just, show my pencil strokes. I don't know if I'm the only one that does this, but I moved the shit out of my canvas. My canvas moved 360 degrees, but it will achieve what I need to achieve, all right? It does what it needs to do. Another thing I want to touch is, I don't know if you can see in the eyebrows, but I don't do anything crazy with them. Kind of leave them very bland, and just a very minimal lighting on them. I think that just gives them a more natural feel to them. And then later on, what I do a layer above them, color pick the skin color, and just slightly touching like the edges, making it seem like, you know, the hair start a little bit up. I think you might be able to see it in a bit. So right here, we're back up to regular speed. And this is where I started doing like the highlights and the lighting, you know, giving them that more 3D effect. Here's when I did that little detail I told you earlier with the hairs. It's very minimal, but it adds a little depth to the drawing. So I went back and just added my chain into the drawing, and pretty much the outline, which I like because it makes it stand out a little more with the background. So here's what the finished process looks like. Let me know if you guys like it in the comment. If you like the video, if you enjoyed watching it, if you like my commentary, give the video a thumbs up, subscribe, and give me a comment if you want to see something more like this. Thank you for watching.